Welcome to the Railway Archive.
This video is brought to you by my loyal Instagram followers. If you are watching this and aren't following me but enjoy this video, please consider following me for future videos. Or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel by the same name, where these will also be uploaded. Today we will be discussing the brief history of the Duke of Gloucester. We will start, as we always do, with a brief history of the LMS Chief Mechanical Engineer, Sir William Stanier, as well as a brief rundown on the LMS operations that led to the decision for the 8Fs to be built. We shall then move into the particulars of the Duke of Gloucester. Sir William Arthur Stanier was born on May 27th, 1876, and died at the age of 89 on the 27th of September 1965, so not that long ago retrospectively. At 16 years of age and an inspired career path thanks to his father, Stanier in 1892 began his 5-year apprenticeship with the Great Western Railway in their locomotive works. This apprenticeship allowed Stanier to gain experience in engine fitting, turning and pattern making, which he would go on to use this as part of his application to be professionally recognised, which would help enhance his career and his career development, which he submitted in 1901. Whilst with the GWR, Stanier worked in their drawings room for 3 years, where he was then mentored by another infamous engineer from the Great Western Railway that many of you will also know, under the name George Jackson Churchwood. Churchwood seconded Stanier's application to the institution, in which he became an associate member in the same year as he applied. This was then also proposed by the Great Western Railway's William Dean, and at the same time that this had been done, Stanier had become the engineer inspector of materials for iron and steel. We'll move slightly on now to his age of 31, where he became a full member of the IMEC institution, in which he'd become an associate. By the time he was also 31, he'd become the divisional carriage superintendent at Swindon. On screen now you will see a signed copy of that exact signature from William Stanier and the Great Western Works at Swindon. Now that we've gone through briefly, I will admit, the early years of Stanier, we'll move into his constructual part of his life with the LMS. Now, when you mention the name William Stanier, you do think of some of the best steam locomotives to ever traverse the rails of Britain, and some of those locomotives do still ride today in heritage railways. 3 main locomotive types that many of us will be aware of are possibly the most reliable, go anywhere and do anything steam locomotives were classically known as the Black Fives, which were a 460 steam locomotive. Stanier and the LMS built 842 of these metal monsters in 17 years, through the years of 1934 and 1951, and they were built as mixed traffic locomotives, so they could do passengers or they could do freight work. Many performed coal duties or longer freight trains due to their pulling power, but some did also conduct passenger services, generally local ones or such wise around the country. It is unfortunate, however, that only 18 of these do remain today in preservation. The second locomotive that many of you will be aware of, and is also a fan favourite amongst rail enthusiasts, is the LMS Princess Royal class. These were express passenger locomotives, and amongst the first Pacific-style locomotives to be built in Britain. And these were built from 1933 to 1935. However, their numbers are very small and there is only about 12 units built at this time. And a surprisingly small number of these, only a sixth of, are preserved, which is a real shame really, considering how nice these locomotives are to look at and how admired they were at the time. The two that are preserved is 6201 Princess Elizabeth, which was built in 1933 and was one of the very first ones built. It was also built in Crewe. This locomotive is currently preserved by the Princess Elizabeth Society and is not currently running at the moment. So if you type in Princess Elizabeth, you will come across their preservation page. And I did have quite an extensive look through it actually. There are plans, I think, to get it up and running, to get the funds to have it rebuilt. But nothing is happening at the moment. The other one is 46203, which was Princess Margaret Rose, which was built in 1935, also at Crewe.